All right, next up, another local entrepreneur, a coder, Rye Walker. Oh.
Got to give these people some love. They threw the shirt back. They threw the shirt back. All right. Hey, everybody. When I thought about what I want to talk about, the first thing I thought of is something that's had a big impact on my career personally. It's not very sexy. It's blogging, okay? But I want to just tell you how blogging has encouraged me to be more interesting as a person. So I've been posting once a month to this crappy little blog for the past 7 years. I get maybe 10 visitors a day. It's not very impressive. However, it has created positive momentum in my career, and it's just like such an important thing for me to share it with everybody I talk to. I figure my first Ignite Cincinnati talk ought to be about it. Next time I'll do something cooler. All right, so you guys might know this dude. He says real artists ship. That means you just don't realize, if you've never created something and put it out there for the public to experience, you really just don't know what it's about. It also helps clarify your thinking. So when I write a blog post, a lot of times I start with a very vague idea that eventually turns into something more concrete, and I'm actually better off for it personally after doing that. So I also view each blog post as like a seed for some future opportunity that I don't know what it's going to be, but it might happen. And I'm going to tell you two stories of two little blog posts I did that ended up creating a really an impact in my life. First one is I wrote a 151-word blog post saying when you should rewrite an app. I do web development, so I think there's a time when the project's so screwed up that you have to start over, and it's an expensive thing to do, but you should do it every once in a while. A local CEO from a growing company reached out to me. We had coffee. He needed help. He let me join his company with whatever title I wanted. I chose that one. And the great thing is I helped thousands of veterans get jobs through this job that I was in. I quit that job last year to get back to my entrepreneurial roots, and I started building a web app using the lean startup methodology. And it led to, and again, I did a blog post about this thing. Some people in the startup community reached out to me, and I formed some really great relationships, and actually started a company a few months ago with some of those people. And again, I attribute it all to that single blog post I was doing. Well, it was actually a series of blog posts. I just screwed up. Now, when you're trying to come up with a blog post, you have a lot of self-doubt. You think, what am I going to talk about? I'm a fraud, right? I mean, I have nothing interesting to say. Well, that's a very common, in the course of preparing for this, I learned about this thing called the imposter syndrome, and it says anybody who's trying to do something for the first time is going to feel like a fraud, and it's normal, and you just have to get through it, write the thing, and accept that everybody has gone through the same thing that you're going through. So, in starting a blog, again, another challenge is to figure out what the heck you're going to write about. The first step is to define your audience. I wish I wasn't looking at this, but these are broken. Define your audience and just plan out 12 posts. The process of doing that will force you to really think through what you want to say. So you might say to yourself, I'm not interesting enough. What am I going to write about? And I say, examine your work a little bit. There's probably something interesting that you're doing right now that would be interesting to somebody else. So it's really easy to get started blogging. I don't represent these companies. WordPress and Tumblr, just go there, sign up. Takes a minute. You can have your first post up as fast as you can type it. Choose a theme that matches your personality. It's super, super easy. Writing your first post is always hard. I say just give yourself 30 minutes, type for 30 minutes, and post it. No one's going to give a shit anyways because no one's there yet. Forget what my next slide is. All right, here we go. Here we go. Train wreck number one. So nobody's watching, right? There's no risk when you're out there working with a no audience. So just go ahead and make it happen. Again, the biggest thing that I would say from my own success, again, I get 10 visitors a day. It's not impressive, but I've done it habitually once a month over the past 7 years. And I would just encourage you, whatever you're doing, just throw something out there every once in a while, and these are like little seeds that may grow into something. Some of you guys probably hate writing. I hated writing when I was in high school, but there's other outlets now, YouTube, start an Etsy store as a way to express yourself, or an eBay store, or start a podcast. Just do your own thing, all right. podcasts? I don't know. Okay. So, and if you're really desperate for content, register to speak at Ignite Cincinnati. And this is an extreme thing, but you can just like basically turn your speaker notes into a blog post.